I feel like these days with AI or automation or economy shifts that are happening faster than before, there must be some people that feel like the changes are just too much. And I'm one of them, by the way. Not only that, if they lost their job recently or like say last year because of the redundancy or whatever, or even they resigned from their job themselves like me. I resigned from my job for about 4 months now. The thing is, I went through a phase where I felt lost because I resigned, but I'm thinking that's my choice, right? But for some people that they didn't really choose that, I mean, like suddenly they lost their job unexpectedly. There must be some people that feel lost. And so I started looking into why that is. And the answer could be that some people tie their identity to the job or what they do for work. And then when they lose that job or lose the title, they feel like they lose a chunk of their identity. If not, they lose the whole identity if they don't have any other thing going on. Another reason why some people feel lost after they lose their title or their job could be that some titles come with perks like lots of money, travel, fancy car, power or control, or whatever it may be. And these things feed into our ego, right? And if we are not aware of it, when we lose this title, of course we'll lose all the perks as well. And that could make us feel a little bit worthless or like not worthy anymore, because we somehow subconsciously tie our worthiness to the perks, the good things that come with the title or with the job that we do. And I get that, but I looked deep into my own situation. I didn't really lose my job because of redundancy. I chose to resign. I thought long and hard about my decision, and so I did it. But even then, I still felt lost, but not in the sense of these two reasons I looked into. I think in my case, it's more about grief, kind of like I had been doing this for a long time. So doing this, I mean, I studied bachelor, master, PhD degrees in chemistry. I got my job, my first job, proper job, doing chemistry stuff for another 6 years, right? And then I continue to different jobs, but still using some aspects of the chemistry knowledge that I had. So round up 17 years, I had been doing that kind of work for 17 years. And so I can't help but to kind of identify myself as like a chemist or like a scientist or researcher or even engineer, because throughout my whole career of 12 years, my title has been engineer, right? And so to quit my job and start my own business, not having those titles anymore, or change my identity completely from like an employee working as a scientist or engineer, and now I'm trying to start my own business, trying to run my own business. I felt grief of my old identity, and it took me about 2 months to get over that feeling. And it's not easy because I had kind of like internal battles going on in my head, like, did I make the right call? What am I gonna do now? Who am I gonna be now that I'm not doing that anymore? And how would it look like? How would it feel like? That kind of thing. I had like 100 questions in my head. And eventually I figured out that instead of looking at titles or the work that I had been doing, which is a big chunk, like I said to you, all of 17 years, as a whole story or a whole book, I look at it as a chapter. So basically, one chapter could be one identity, and the book continues, right? So you move on to the next chapter, which is another identity. And the thing is, and now that I'm taking on a new identity, it doesn't mean that I am now a whole new different person. No, I am still the same person. And so in a way, titles kind of like a label, that they need to have a label so that they can describe what you do at that time, right? So let's say going back, I was a chemist because I was doing chemistry stuff, right, for work or for research. I was an engineer because I was doing engineering stuff at work, right? And so when I don't do those things anymore, of course, I shouldn't continue using those labels anymore because the labels don't really represent what I'm doing now, right? And so that's the thing that kind of helped me, I guess, like make peace with the concept of losing my old identity and taking on a new identity. But at the end of the day, I'm still the same person. I still like the same thing. I still don't like the same things. So I thought I should come here and share this with you just in case you are feeling lost because you recently have lost your job, either redundancy or you made the decision yourself. I want to say that instead of looking at it as the whole identity erasure, like kind of ditch the whole identity in the past, is more like reinventing yourself or upgrading your identity. That means that you still carry a big part of your previous self and previous identity, but you open more room to add more features so that you are now a better version that is going to be more suitable to what you're going to do next. Alright, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!